And in our lives, we're getting to millions of pieces, trying to fit in anywhere we can, anywhere we go. And you get to other countries, the developing countries, my country, for example, in Cameroon, where the Christianity is integrated. And the blend of those practices and beliefs and rituals is something that we can't decide. The church is the one deciding. The church is the one observing, analyzing based on traditions, on the faith, on the scripture, where to go and how to say yes, and if we can say yes to certain practices that we see on other countries. But deeply, what other countries study to understand is that rather than trying to separate everything because we just can't offend anyone, how about just integrating? How about finding a way to blend, to bridge the gap, for example? You've got countries like Malaysia. I had one colleague I used to work before that came from that country. She was sharing the culture and how they are, what they believe in. And you've got a lot of Muslims, you've got a lot of Christians, you've got Buddhists and Hinduists. You've got a mix, a big mix. But they are able to live in total harmony though. They are able to be respectful to each other's belief and practices. There is no hate. There's no negativity. We're not getting to division. We're not getting to hatred in the name of religion. If we see religion like that, and a lot of people would see religion like that first, which is sad. And in Cameroon, for example, you've got a practice, in French we call it rite de veuvage, which pretty much means that when you get to be a widow, you have to go through a certain rite, a certain practice in Cameroon. It's like more like African ancestral type of practice, where to cut yourself from your dead husband or your dead wife, you have to go through a certain ritual, because especially if that person that died really died in the most dramatic and tragic situations, you have to get through something to kind of cut yourself from him. Remove yourself from that binding that could be very much bad if that person was not necessarily the best. So we're getting through that, and recently it's something that the Catholic Church accepted as a practice that could be compatible with the scripture and with the traditions of Catholic or Christianity in general. And of course, it's not everything that the Catholic Church is going to accept, but it sees, observe, and analyze every part of any culture where it is in. Other example of integration that you can see within the Catholic Church and let's say local culture wherever it is in, you've got the feast day of the Jugendenmordes, which is in June 3rd. It's a massive pilgrimage, bringing millions of people to Namugango, one of the city. You've got traditional music, tribal dance, local attire like Kanzu and Gomesi. That shows a lot of that culture, but are part of the liturgy as well within the Catholic Church there. And that shows the sainthood is not necessarily something that comes from Europe only. So that brings that communal memory and solemnity that you can send, they can own that because they relate to that as well. And I find it so beautiful. And I think the concept of just the sainthood in general, which can be found in the Bible, is that we are not alone.